Welcome back to Kubernetes Deep Dive. I'm so glad you're here for Chapter 6. In our last chapter, we learned how to keep our applications alive with health checks and self healing. We taught Kubernetes to monitor our apps and automatically restart them when things go wrong. That was huge. Your applications can now recover from failures without human intervention. Today, we're tackling something that will fundamentally change how you think about deploying applications. We're talking about config maps and secrets, the tools that let you separate your configuration from your code. Here's why this matters. Imagine you built an amazing application, it works perfectly in development, but when you try to deploy it to staging, you realize the database URL is hard coded. So you change the code, rebuild the image, push it, deploy it, then production needs different settings. More changes, another rebuild, another deployment. Sound familiar? This chapter fixes that problem forever. By the end of today, you'll be able to deploy the exact same container image to development, staging, and production, with each environment automatically getting its own configuration. No rebuilding, no code changes, just pure flexibility. This is honestly where Kubernetes clicks for a lot of people. When you see how elegantly this solves the configuration problem, you'll start to understand why so many teams have embraced Kubernetes. Let's dive in. Before we touch any YAML files, let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're running a restaurant. In the kitchen, you've got a recipe binder sitting on the counter. It contains portion sizes, cooking temperatures, ingredient lists, plating instructions. Any cook can walk up and read it. The information isn't secret, it's just operational details that might change. Maybe lunch portions are smaller than dinner. Maybe you adjust the spice level based on customer feedback. That recipe binder, that's a config map. Now, in the corner of the kitchen, there's a small safe. Inside that safe is the secret sauce recipe, the one that makes your restaurant famous. Only the head chef has the combination. You don't want competitors getting their hands on this. That safe, that's a secret. Both the binder and the safe let you change recipes without rebuilding the entire kitchen. You don't need to tear down walls and reconstruct the cooking stations just because you want to adjust the salt content. You just update the recipe. But here's something critical I need you to understand right now. Kubernetes secrets are like a safe with a glass door. They provide some separation, but they're not truly secure on their own. The data is base 64 encoded, which is not encryption. It's just a different way of representing the same data. Anyone with access to your cluster can decode it instantly. We'll talk about proper secret management later, but I wanted to set that expectation early. Secrets are better than config maps for sensitive data, but they are not a complete security solution. Why hard coding configuration is problematic. Let's talk about why we need config maps and secrets in the first place. When you hard code configuration into your application, you create what I call a deployment nightmare. Every environment needs its own container image. Development has localhost as the database host. Staging has staging-db.com, penny.com. Production has prod-db.com, penny.com. With hard-coded values, that's three different images you need to build and maintain. And every time a configuration value changes, a new database host, a different port, an updated API key, you have to rebuild. But it gets worse. What about sensitive data? If you hard code your database password into your application, that password now lives in your source code. It lives in your Git history. It lives in your container image. It lives in your container registry. Anyone with access to any of those systems can see your credentials. This violates a fundamental principle of good application design called the 12-factor app methodology. Factor 3 specifically says store configuration in the environment. Configuration should come from outside your application, not from within it. Config maps and secrets are how Kubernetes implements this principle. Config maps, non-sensitive configuration. A config map is simply a Kubernetes object that stores configuration data as key value pairs. Think of it as a dictionary or a map that your application can read from. Config maps are perfect for things like database host names, port numbers, feature flags, application settings, and external service URLs, anything that varies between environments but isn't secret. The beauty of config maps is that they decouple your configuration from your container image. You build your image once, and it reads its configuration from the environment. The same image works everywhere. It just behaves differently based on the config map it's given. Secrets. Sensitive configuration secrets work almost identically to config maps, but they're designed for sensitive data. Passwords, API keys, tokens, certificates, anything you wouldn't want to accidentally expose. Kubernetes treats secrets a bit differently than config maps. They're stored separately, they're not included in most logging output by default, and you can configure more restrictive access controls around them. But remember our glass door safe? By default, secrets are only base 64 encoded. They are obscured, not secured. We'll discuss how to actually protect them later in this chapter. Two ways to inject configuration. Here's where it gets practical. Once you have a config map or secret, you need to get that data into your application. Kubernetes gives you two primary methods. First, you can inject configuration as environment variables. Your application reads them just like any other environment variable. This is great for simple values, a database host, a port number, a feature flag. Second, you can mount configuration as files. Kubernetes creates a directory in your container and populates it with files containing your configuration data. This is perfect for configuration files, certificates, or any scenario where your application expects to read from a file. Most applications use a combination of both: environment variables for simple settings, mounted files for complex configuration. All right, let's get hands on. We're going to deploy an application that connects to a database. We'll start with the wrong way, hard coded values, and then refactor to use config maps and secrets properly. For this exercise, imagine we have a simple web application that needs to connect to a database. It needs four pieces of information: the database host, the database port, the username, and the password. The first two are non sensitive. The database host and port could be discovered by anyone scanning your network anyway, but the username and password, those are secrets. Let's start with a deployment that has everything hard coded. I have the YAML on screen now. Notice how all four values are embedded directly in the pod specification as environment variables. The database host is hard coded to postgres.default.svz. The port is 5432. The username is admin. And worst of all, the password is sitting right there in plain text, super secret password. This works, but it's terrible for several reasons. If we need to change the password, we have to edit the deployment, which triggers a rolling update even though our application code hasn't changed. The password is visible to anyone who can describe this deployment. And if we want to deploy to a different environment, we need a completely different deployment file. Let's fix this. Creating a config map. First, let's extract the non-sensitive configuration into a config map. I'll show you the YAML on screen. We create a config map named database-config. Under the data section, we define our key value pairs, database host and database port. Notice that even though 5432 is a number, we quote it as a string. Config maps store everything as strings. Let's apply this to our cluster using kubectl apply with our config map file. You can verify it was created by running kubectl get config map database-config with output set to YAML. You'll see your configuration data stored in the cluster, completely separate from any deployment. Creating a secret now, let's handle the sensitive data. We'll create a secret for the username and password. Creating secrets requires one extra step. Remember, secrets store data as base 64 encoded strings. You can create them from a YAML file with pre-encoded values, or you can let kubectl encode them for you. Let me show you the direct approach first. I'm running a command on screen that encodes our username. When you run echo with the -n flag for admin and pipe it to base 64, you get ywrt_w4 equals. That's admin encoded as base 64. Let's do the same for the password. Echo -n super secret password piped to base 64 gives us a longer encoded string. Now I can create a secret YAML with these encoded values. The YAML is on screen now. We have a secret named database credentials with type opaque, which is the default type for arbitrary secrets. Under data, we have username and password with their base 64 encoded values. But here's an easier approach. Instead of encoding manually, you can use kubectl to create secret. The command on screen shows how to create the same secret directly from literal values. This approach does the encoding for you, much simpler for most situations. Refactoring the deployment now comes the fun part. Let's refactor our deployment to use the config map and secret instead of hard-coded values. I have the updated deployment YAML on screen. Take a moment to pause and look at it. Instead of hard-coded values, we now have two new sections under each environment variable. Value from with config map keyref for non-sensitive data, and value from with secret keyref for sensitive data. For the database host variable, we reference the database config map and pull the database host key. Same pattern for the port. For the username and password, we reference the database credentials secret. The beauty here is that our deployment no longer contains any actual configuration values, it just contains references. The values themselves live in separate objects that can be managed independently. Applying and verifying, let's apply everything and make sure it works. First, we apply the config map, then the secret, then the deployment. Once the pod is running, we can verify the environment variables were injected correctly. We'll run kubectl exec to run println inside the container. The output shows all four environment variables properly populated from our config map and secret. The application has no idea where these values came from. It just sees normal environment variables. Mounting configuration as files, sometimes environment variables aren't enough. Maybe your application reads from a configuration file. Let's see how to mount config maps as files. I'll create a new config map that contains an entire configuration file. The YAML on screen shows a config map named app-config with a key called config JSON. The value is a complete JSON configuration object with server settings and feature flags. Now I'll modify the deployment to mount this as a file. The updated YAML shows two new sections, a volume definition that references the config map and a volume mount that puts it at /etc/config in the container. When the pod starts, Kubernetes creates a directory at /etc/config and populates it with a file named config, JSON containing our configuration. The application can read this file just like any other file. Let's verify this works. I'll exec into the pod and cat the file. Perfect. The configuration file exists exactly where we specified, with the content from our config map, updating configuration without redeploying. Here's where config maps and secrets really shine. Let's update our configuration without redeploying the application. I'll edit the config map using kubectl, edit config map database config. I'm changing the database host to a new value, postgres-replica.default.svc. After saving, the change takes effect immediately in Kubernetes. But here's an important nuance. For environment variables, the pod needs to restart to pick up changes. The environment is set when the container starts. If you need the new values, you'll need to restart your pods. For mounted files, Kubernetes automatically updates them. There's a brief delay, usually about a minute, but the files will reflect the new config map values without any restart. Let's verify the mounted file was updated. After waiting a moment, I'll cat the file again. If we had changed that config map, we'd see the new content. No restart required. This automatic update feature is incredibly powerful for applications that watch their configuration files for changes. You can update behavior on the fly. The base 64 reality check. Now let's talk about something important. I mentioned earlier that secrets aren't really encrypted. Let me prove it. First, I'll get the secret in YAML format using kubectl get secret database credentials with output YAML. Look at the password field. It shows that base 64 encoded string we saw earlier. Now watch this. I run echo with that encoded string and pipe it to base 64 decode, and there's our password in plain text, super secret password. Anyone with access to read secrets in your namespace can decode them instantly. Base 64 is not security, it's just encoding. This is why I compared Kubernetes secrets to a safe with a glass door. It keeps things organized and separated, but it won't stop a determined attacker. So, how do production teams handle configuration and secrets properly? External secret management. The industry standard for truly sensitive data is to use an external secret manager. HashiCorp Vault is probably the most popular choice. Instead of storing secrets directly in Kubernetes, you store references to secrets in Vault. Your application retrieves them at runtime. AWS has Secrets Manager, Google Cloud has Secret Manager, Azure has Key Vault. All of these integrate with Kubernetes through various operators and tools. The pattern is similar across all of them. You store a reference in Kubernetes that points to the external secret. The external system handles encryption, access controls, audit logging, and rotation. GitOps and configuration. Many teams practicing GitOps store their config maps in Git alongside their deployment manifests. Tools like Argo CD and Flux automatically sync these to the cluster when they change. For secrets, they use sealed secrets or external secrets operators. Sealed secrets encrypt the secret data before it goes into Git, and only the cluster can decrypt it. External secrets operators sync secrets from external stores into Kubernetes. Spotify uses a tool called Backstage for developer portals, and it integrates with Kubernetes config maps extensively. Netflix's Titus platform, their container management system, uses similar configuration patterns. Real configuration patterns at scale, companies often use hierarchical configuration. They have base config maps with defaults, then environment specific config maps that override certain values. The customized tool built into kubectl makes this pattern easy to implement. Some applications watch their mounted config map files for changes and automatically reload. This pattern is common in service meshes like Istio, where the proxy configuration can update without restart. Feature flag systems often store their configuration in config maps. Companies can toggle features on and off across their entire fleet by updating a single config map. What a journey! Let's recap the three key things you learned today. First, you learned why hard coding configuration is problematic and how config maps solve it. By externalizing your configuration, you can deploy the same container image to any environment. Development, staging, production, all using the same image but reading different config maps. Second, you learn the difference between config maps and secrets and when to use each. Config maps for non sensitive data, secrets for sensitive data. And critically, you learn that Kubernetes secrets are base 64 encoded, not encrypted. For truly sensitive data, use external secret managers. Third, you learn two ways to inject configuration, environment variables for simple values, and mounted files for complex configuration. Environment variables require a restart to pick up changes, but mounted files update automatically. This knowledge fundamentally changes how you'll build and deploy applications. No more rebuilding images just to change a configuration value. No more passwords in source code. Just clean, flexible, professional deployments. What's coming next? In Chapter 7, we're going to tackle something you've probably been wondering about: networking and services. How do pods talk to each other? How does external traffic reach your applications? We'll demystify cluster IP, node port, and load balancer services, and you'll finally understand how Kubernetes networking actually works. If you found this chapter helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us create more content like this, and drop a comment below. I'd love to know how you're planning to use config maps and secrets in your projects. See you in the next one.